we're gonna take the drive protected Model 3 and we're gonna turn it into a full carbon fiber Model 3. So, enjoy the ride. But we're gonna make it work, and it's gonna look wild. It's gonna be funny. All right, here, one of the last pieces. As you guys can see in that time lapse, we got the bottom part of this hatch piece done. There's no way to, with one person, to actually properly do this type of material that's this rigid. Which, I mean, I've worked with more rigid stuff, tested out more rigid stuff. But we got the bottom part done. We got a piece of knife rest around here. We just need to wrap the edge about a 1/4 inch. I'm just gonna give this some heat so this lays down here nice. Low heat, nothing crazy. Just give it a little bit. I don't know if the camera's picking up, but the knife is right there. Should have done this folding first. And then you can come back and All right, there we go. We just gotta do the bottom part of the hatch, one A-pillar and one mirror. Let's get it done before lunch. All right guys, so I just did a pre-stretch on this mirror cap. The backside's already wrapped. We got a piece of knife lace, and I just took and stretched a little bit here, and then just roughly took and stretched here. I don't know why I didn't film that and the rest of that, but I didn't. So now we're gonna see how this relaxes into place. Let's try to do this so I can get on camera for you guys. All right, not bad. Not bad at all. And the air release is honestly kind of surprising how good it is, but we got two really bad adhesive lines right here that I don't think there's any way to get those out. Let's see. Nope, they're stuck. So, not a surprise for what film this is. But from this angle, you can't see the adhesive lines, but there's two of them right here. I'll show you guys in a bit. Okay, we're gonna snap that back, and we're just gonna we need to wrap that around that corner. So. Overall, considering this is a really cheap garbage film, you could say, it hasn't worked horrible, to be honest. It hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be. All right, guys, behind me is a full carbon fiber Model 3 that I just wrapped in a very cheap Chinese film. The reason we did this is just to test it, because everyone loves to talk trash on Chinese films, and we decided, let's put that to the test. So we bought a really cheap roll. I don't remember exactly how much it was. I think it was between $50 and $70 or something like that, roll of carbon fiber, because I thought it'd be ridiculous to have a fully carbon fiber wrapped Model 3. And so that's what we did here. I did this in about 8.5, 9 hours, something like that, total time, with taking trims off and cameras off and putting them back on and prep and whatever. It was about 8.5, 9 hours. I did, however, get help for the bumpers, because this film doesn't cold stretch. It's not a cast film. So yeah, getting into certain areas does take more time. It definitely, I feel like I could have done this full car in probably about 6 hours-ish by myself in a good vinyl, but we're using a cheaper vinyl. So another thing to take note of is this film is far from perfect, but you get what you pay for. I do not prefer to wrap with film like this. I prefer to wrap with good film like an Arlon or Avery, or, you know, there's a list out there that is good. Most of the color change wraps I've done have either been Arlon, Avery, or 3M. This one's different. And it's ridiculous. So let's go over a few things that I think, first of all, suck about this product. Is inconsistent pattern. There's some random lines in there. I'm going to try to show you guys in the hood, going through it all the way through the backside. Also, because it's a calendar film, it does not have great air release, air egress, but it actually does have it. It works better than I expected it would. So giving it a props there. Is that line I'm talking about. I think you guys can see that. It runs all the way down. There's some more of those throughout the wrap. Yeah, certain bubbles, bigger bubbles come out no problem, and then there's ones like this that just will not. Now do take into consideration, I did this very quickly. Also, here's some more lines. Those look like glue lines to me, which is weird because they were there before I started squeegeeing the film down. So yeah, all in all, I think it looks ridiculous. It's funny. And yes, I did seam it there because it wasn't worth trying to one piece it. And here too, we got another line going all the way across. Don't know why, but it's there. For here, I had some small bubbles that just refused to go away or come out. Those normally you could just, push them out with a good cast vinyl. Not happening here. Also, more adhesive lines over here. Lots of adhesive lines, which is very disappointing. But also I knew it was gonna happen. Here's some on the mirror. I pre-stretched this and then stretched it, and there was fingers this way. There was nothing this way. And as I laid that down, I go and I'm like, huh, interesting. So there's those. The carbon actually looks pretty good, all things considered, other than some random lines in it and inconsistencies. Now, should you be wrapping with cheap Chinese vinyl like this in a shop? No. Would this work if you're a DIY person and you're just trying to do it yourself and save yourself a buck? Yes. But I also think if you're doing it DIY, you're gonna have a lot more issues doing this because it's a harder film to work with. If I wasn't experienced, I would have been so mad during this process. I would have wanted a refund on my couple dollar film that my boss paid for, not me. But it's just one of those things that you got to understand what you're getting into. You're buying a cheap film, you're gonna get the results of a cheap film. So would I do this again? No, I would not use this film again. I don't think it's worth it. Is it funny? Yeah, that's why we did it. We did it because it was funny and just to test it to see how it works. So, and hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys in the next video. Also, make sure you drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the full carbon fiber Model 3. Should we keep it or should we trash it? I mean, trash the film, not the car.